Welcome to a race preview. My voice cracked there. 7th grade Matt back. We've got Power of Will back at Churchill Downs. Wednesday, race 6, 3:18 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Maiden special weight, so he's not in for a tag this race. He's running for 120,000 big ones. Going a mile and a half. First time any of the horses in this race go a mile and a half. So huge question marks to start. What do you think, Nick?
Yeah, I'm excited to see him at a mile and a half. He ran a great race for us at the maiden claiming level last time, so he earned the right to bump back up to maiden special weight after that nice performance he had a couple weeks ago. Mile and a half is something that we've always wanted for this horse. If you take a look here at the field, there is really not much speed signed up, which kind of makes sense for a mile and a half race. And Power Will does his best running from the front end, which we've seen in his last race and some other competitive races he's had. We'll probably be breaking from either the furthest outside post or second furthest outside post, but going a mile and a half, I don't think that's a massive factor. Get over pretty smooth and just hold on, hopefully.
Yeah, I think my concern is the two horses that will be the shortest prices, the 5 and the 3 here, will be prominent as well. So kind of tough there. I actually been working with Claude a little bit to try to get an understanding of it, breaking down the past performances. So you basically can think of, okay, like the 5 is in the front, projecting us to be in second, and then third, fourth, fifth. So this is like an interesting way to kind of break down the pace. I know like Time Form does something like this. I basically just inputted the thorough manager data, and that's kind of what it brought up. If we're here heading into the first turn, I think we're in a good spot. What do you think, Brian?
Yeah, I mean, we've been saying almost since we got him, he's pretty much a one-gear horse, which obviously comes back to bite us in the shorter races, but should be a positive for this type of longer race.
For sure. What do you think about the three's name here, Brian? A resident
I
Hawaiian.
think it's fucking bullshit, dude. Doesn't even make sense. Luna just means like higher or like on top of. Lahaina's a town that burnt down, so it's actually pretty mean to say that you're just on top of sacred land
A
that's
bird
burned
down,
to
down.
ashes. So,
Hopefully we're standing on top.
so yeah, I think they got some karma coming to them this race.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of broke it down to start that, all these horses are doing something they haven't done before. Imagine, running your hardest for a mile and a flat mile, and like, all right, go another half mile and ask to continue on. So that's a big question mark. I think that's kind of where you can project the improvement for Power of Will. I think his best speed figure of his life is a 79, whereas you see up here, a lot of these horses have won like run like 87s, 89s. So he does need to jump up a few speed figures per se to win it here. But he's also doing something for the first time, something that we've wanted him to do for a very, very long time. Like Brian said, a one-pace horse. We got his hopers clicking off 12. So we had 12, 12, half in 24, 12, 12. Well, a half's in 48. First quarter's in
Yeah, mental.
24. And just math is math. But just 12s, 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 12s all the way around. And then hope everyone is too tired to have anything at the end there. I do think the configuration at Churchill is a 3-turn mile and a half. So breaking from the outside is a little bit of a disadvantage because we'll be breaking from the outside, trying to get over on the lead early. But at the same time, it kind of allows the jockey, Declan, to have the ability to see what's happening inside of him. So he's able to adjust based upon there, kind of like having a speed horse outside. Uh, Outside of, wanting to get in the lead and, take him a long way, Nick, who do you think our main competition is?
Yeah, I think the 3 and 5, like we said earlier. I think being forward in this race is going to be super important. I always like horses that are forward on longer distance races on the turf, especially when there is a lack of speed. The slower the pace is up front, the harder it is to close into it. So I think any horse coming from way back is going to be at a disadvantage here. So I would say 3 and 5 definitely ones to keep an eye out on. The 10 horse 2, That horse looks pretty decent. He comes from a little bit more behind. So again, it might be a little bit of a struggle for him to kind of pick up pieces. But he does have pretty good numbers here with that 87, which is in line with the 3 and the 5 as well.
For sure. Bronny?
Yeah, I mean it's hard to really look at these longer races when they haven't ran because there's definitely a mental aspect to the horses too. Not really running that distance. Some of them might get thrown off even by like, oh shit, we're still going. So I mean, typically longer races, the best horse does end up winning, which I think you'd have to go with the 5 here, but we'll see.
Brian, trivia. What other famous race is typically run at a mile and a half?
The Golden something Saratoga.
There's a bigger race, bro.
You know, if you're
Just
trying to
happened.
if you're trying to work into somehow you ran a marathon, man, we get it, okay?
Nothing like that at all, bro. The third leg of Triple Crown. The third leg of the Triple Crown. The third jewel, the test of a champion, the Belmont Stakes. The true Belmont Stakes is at a mile and a half.
Can't wait for it to be back there.
Need it back. That's where the money's made. Nikki knows. Nikki's mile and a half angle has definitely been, chiseled in years and years of Belmont Stakes handicapping.
So if we win this, we pretty much win a more legitimate Belmont Stakes than was ran this year.
Golden Tempo. It'll probably be faster too. But yeah, no, I think 5, 3, 10, those are obviously your main contenders, as you see here. You can kind of make a case for any of them just because of doing something for the first time. Nick always brings it up. I don't like betting horses doing something for the first time, so I'm not going to swallow chalk here. I very rarely swallow chalk. Kind of the things I do to look at, okay, are they going to the distance? I'll go through their pedigrees. So like essential quality is kind of a bad one to go off of because he's really like a second-year sire here, so it's really hard to know kind of what horses they'll throw. But also you can look at the mamas and kind of what they've thrown and kind of how fast they were. I think a slam dunk in terms of getting the distance is probably going to be the 5. Unfortunately, I looked into the mom. The mom ran a good number, going 11 furlongs at the Churchill Downs turf course. So the horse clearly has a little bit of pedigree on the mom's side, going long enough. You see the average winning distance for a hard spun horse is 7.5 furlongs. So hard spun can definitely throw. He usually does a nice, compact, boxy horse that can carry distance over the turf. I think he's a very underrated sire. Other horses that stand out in terms of like pure breeding. The 2 horses, one that I would kind of question, Maximus Mischief. I usually feel like he throws milers or sprinters. And there's nothing too much on the mom side in terms of, throwing distance as well. So the 2 wins, you could call me an idiot. You won't be the first person, won't be the last. Brian's Hawaiian horse, seeing Kitten's Joy, and English Channel.
Brad Howley, fuck. My culture's not your costume.
That horse is canceled. Susan Naylor is canceled. English Channel, seeing English Channel and Kitten's Joy typically that's your turf pedigree in the U.S. Typically, those horses get better with age, get better with distance. So those are always ones to look out for. The 10 is really interesting. I think he's kind of the now horse, turning in the right direction. Similar breeding to us with War of Will on top, and then a distance dam sire. On the mama side, dam is equal mom. You can see here the mom's done 2 stakes winners as well, so definitely pretty regally bred there. I think Power of Will, like he's right there too. Another tool I use to try to project distance, which is somewhat controversial, somewhat old school in nature, is the Shefty race, I believe it's called. So if you look up Power of Will here, USA Power of Will. So the more numbers to the left of the middle are speed horses, the more numbers to the right are distance horses. Typically, most U.S. bred horses now, it's kind of rare you see any numbers to the right side. So Power of Will having 2 there, his center distribution going more towards the distance is a good sign. Other horses that have numbers on the right side, so the right 2 numbers are the 10, the 9, the 8, the 7, and the 3. The sevens number is actually pretty wild. It's 4, 4, 11, 10, 9. So it's super. I mean, it's according to that metric, like the horse should run all day. It's also super duper interesting to do a first time start going 1.5 miles on the grass. We got our buddy Danny Sheehy in the irons, who we've gotten on the podcast before. So it's very interesting. And like we say, English Channel, like horse should be able to run for days, but just interesting to start a horse first time out going a 3-turn 1.5 miles.
I agree.
So overall, what are you guys' thoughts? Like, how are you guys playing it? I'll probably just do one play show on Power of Will. We're gonna be a big long shot, like we said. We need to improve a good bit, but we can call it the distance factor. We hope the distance is something that he wants. So I'm just going one play show on Power of Will. What about you guys?
I like that too. Win play show on Power Will, and then also maybe a little bit of a try on like the 5, 10, 11. Like Matt said, I don't love taking short prices when horses are doing something for the first time. I always like to see them do it once. The first time start is kind of interesting. I mean, we don't know if these horses to go, so it's not like it is tough to debut. Obviously, the 3-turn 1.5 mile race, but maybe he's going to be the one that's able to take to the 1.5 miles.
4-year-old too, so at least you have that 4-year-old
Yeah,
gelding, so it should be pretty chill. But guess we're gonna find out.
no, it should be an interesting race.
Brian, what do you think?
Yeah, I think a win play show. I mean, I typically throw that every time just because. And then probably an exacta with a couple of the short prices in there. If Power Will stays at between 10 and 20, you should still get a decent payout if it hits.
You're gonna get a good price. I guarantee you that much. I asked Claude, so I kind of prompted it on how to read all this stuff and all this fun stuff. It selected the 5 and the 3, the chalk eating weasel, and then I asked it for a $20 win bet. Like, okay, $20 budget, what would you do? They would do $10 win on the 5, and then they would do a exacta wheel 5 over 3, 7, 10. So AI is fading us. We love to defeat AI. It's interesting. I mean, a lot of you could tell I prompted it very well, because a lot of the things that I look out for with exactas in terms of like, I like to select my favorite early horses and my favorite late horses, and then kind of separate them that way. Where, okay, if we know the 5's gonna be early, we know the 10's gonna come late, those two together, like, if we didn't own Power of Will, I probably would just throw 5 over 10 exacta. Kind of will be a short price for something like this, but if you have a field of 10, you should get a decent price.
Yeah, I think that payout would be nice. Wouldn't be too
Yeah.
bad.
All right. Any closing thoughts here, boys? I think to talk about what's next for Power of Will, I would say this is quite literally the biggest race of his life. This is what we've wanted to do the whole time with him. So if he can show up and show out here, I think that would go a long way in terms of, the patience that we've had holding on to this horse for three plus years, through the good times, through the bad, through the layoffs, through the scratches, through all the drama, all the good times and bad we've had with him. I think it will go a long way if he can kind of show up and show out here. First in for a tag was very impressive last out. I think like distance is something that we definitely want to continue to have, distance and firm going. So we'll definitely continue to chase that in terms of like next stops. If he runs well here, I think sky's the limit. Nicky's. Brian mentioned the Belmont Gold Cup. That's like the automatic qualifier for the Melbourne Cup over in Australia. We can dream a little dream for me. Why not us? Why not us? That's one side. If he opens up by 5 and wins, we're dreaming that. If he falls back and he's finished in 7th, 8th, I think it's time to jam him in for 30, 40, get a win from him and go from there.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, good luck, everybody. Looking forward to it.